Welcome to Coding with Sonali. So today in this video, I will be covering the topic about the three-dimensional array, which is also called as a multi-dimensional arrays. So here we will be seeing about what is three-dimensional array, what is the definition of three-dimensional array, and how the three-dimensional array is initialized, compile time as well as runtime. Also, we will be seeing how to find the address of the element in case of the three-dimensional array using the method that is row major order. So we have already seen the row major order and column major order representation of the elements of the array for two-dimensional array. First, let's see the definition of the 3D array. So 3D array, first of all, by the name you can understand 3D, that is the three dimensions it is having. So here, if you see here, suppose we are having the array, and we know that in case of the array, we have to give the subscripts. So first of all, since it's a three-dimensional, it will be having one subscript, two subscript, three subscript. Three dimension, you have to give the size. This is the 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So whatever you want to declare your array, you can give any size depending upon your requirement. So you can see here, this array is of the data type integer. So we know that whenever any data type is there, if it is an integer, then all the elements will be of the data type integer. So therefore, you can see this 3D array, if I define, it is the collection of the elements. And these elements are arranged in the memory in contiguous memory location in consecutive manner, one after the other. And these elements which are there in case of the 3D array, they are the 2D array. So now let's see how we can perfectly define this 3D array. So let me initialize, then you will understand. First of all, as I am saying that 3D array, it is a collection of the elements. So how you will determine how many elements are there in case of the 3D array? So you can see here itself that the first dimension, that is this first subscript, that is this one, it is giving how many elements are there. It says it is having 2 elements. See here the number. If you give here 3, so that means you are having 3 elements in your 3D array. But here let us consider the example wherein I am taking it as 2. So that means you are having 2 elements. So this represent how many elements is there in your 3D array, and those 2 elements is of your 2D array of the dimension 3 by 4. This is your 2D array dimension, because in 2D array we are having 2 subscripts. So let us represent, let us initialize, then you will understand more better, and we will also see in the matrix form how it is represented. So first of all, if I initialize this 3D array, it is collection of 2 elements. You can see here this will give you number of elements. So therefore what I will do, I will just do in this manner. So here first of all, the 2 elements will be there, 1 element and 2 element. And also remember that in case of the array, the indexing starts from 0 to n minus 1. So now here we are having 2 elements. So 1 element I will place here, and the second element I will be placing here. So, and each element is of 2D array. You can see here dimension 3 into 4. So that 2D array is having, we know that in case of the 2D array, we have seen in the earlier session, the first subscript represent the row and the second subscript represent the columns. So that means it is having 3 rows, right? And 4 columns. In total 2 elements. So I will write 2 elements in this manner. I'll write. So these 2 elements are there, and these elements, that is 1 element and 2 element itself, is a 2D array. So 2D array is having the size of 3 rows and 4 columns. That means it is having 1, 2, 12. So you can see here 1 row. So this is 1 row, this is 2 row, and this is your 3 row, right? And 4 columns. So this is 1 column, this is 2 column, this is 3 column, this is 4 column. So this overall, this whole portion which is there, it is a 2D array. So similarly, one more element is there, because we are having total 2 elements. So 1 element I have already represented as a 2D array, and the next and one more element will be there, and that is, so let's initialize in this manner, and here semicolon. This is how we are initializing the 3D array. So I can also give in one line itself all these values. So what will be the size of the array? It will be multiplication of the dimensions. We know that since it is an integer, in case of the integer it takes 4 bytes, right? First of all, we will multiply these dimensions. 3 into 4 will be 12, right? 12 into 2 will be 24, and 24 into 4 you have to multiply. That will be the total size of your 3D array. That means that much number of bytes will be occupied in the memory for your array. So here, first of all, this initialization which I am doing here itself, that is I am declaring and I am doing initialization, that is your compile time initialization, this one. And what will be the runtime initialization? Whenever runtime you are asking the user to give the input from the console, in that case it will be the runtime. This is runtime initialization of the 3D array. So this is in C language, and we know that in case of the C language, the main function is the entry point to start an execution of your program. This is the array which I have declared here. Since this is a runtime initialization, I want user to give the input that I will fill in my array. So I have given the size. So you can see here, since we are having this 3 dimensions, so you can see I want user to give the input. So I have taken 3 loops, one for loop, two second for loop, and the third for loop. So this outer for loop, that is this one, since the sizes of 2 elements, so therefore what I will do, it will be, if it starts from 0, it should be from 0 and 1. That will be the elements. So therefore I is equal to 0, I less than 2. And then you can see here the outer for loop in which you are having 2 more for loop. First of all, this 2 for loop which is there is for the 2D array. So 2D array, this represent row and this represent the column. So therefore it will be saying that since it is 3, therefore 0, j is equal to 0. I have taken another variable, j less than 3, j plus plus, and then this column, that is k is equal to 0, k less than, this is how much size? It is 2, less than 2, k plus plus. And we know that in case of C language, whenever we want to ask the user to give the input on the console, we use the scanf function. If it's a C++, we will be using cin, and in case of C, we are using scanf function. So this is bracket, this is the format specifier we have to give. Since it's an integer, the elements are integer, I'm giving %d format specifier, and this is, I'm giving the address and the, you know that how the element can be accessed. First of all, we know that in case we have to, in case of the array, we use the subscript. So it is a random access. So I'm giving the subscript, 3 subscripts here, but I'm giving the address also, because at element location, I have to store the value which the user give. So element value, that is A, subscript I, subscript J, subscript K. So how it will work? Whenever your I is equal to 0, in that case, it comes inside this for loop. Okay, and then in j is equal to 0, again this, it comes inside this for loop. K is equal to 0, it comes inside this for loop, and finally the user is asked to enter the element, and then user give the value, and this value will be this I is 0, j is 0, k is 0. So therefore at 0 address, that this value whatever the user give, that will be stored in the address of this A subscript 0 subscript 0 subscript 0, 3 dimension. Now next time again what will happen? Now you know that how this loop, now again this, first of all, how the execution gets completed. So this inner for loop will complete actually, and then once this inner for loop gets completed for all the iterations, then outer for loop will be completed, and then the other outer for loop is completed. This loop will be running 2 times. So for k is equal to 0 and for k is equal to 1, because you have given k less than 2. So 2 times, because your column is how much? 2 columns are there. So therefore it will be running 2 times the value will be accepted. Then once this condition you can see here, that is k becomes greater than 2. In that case what will happen? This for loop will come into end, and this the control comes outside this for loop. Now this for loop which was outside that will continue to complete. So it was for j is equal to 0. So this will take for, then j will be incremented, and for j is equal to 1, again this inner for loop will be repeated. Then for j is equal to 2, this inner for loop will be repeated. So till j is equal to less than 3. So once j becomes 3, this again this loop will come into end, and then the control comes outside this loop, and then outer for loop wherein we was taking from I is equal to 0, all these things, the I gets incremented to 1, and this condition is satisfied. So again your this loop will be running, that is j will again start from 0 till j less than 3. And for this again inside this for loop we are having one more for loop. So this loop will complete its execution. It will accept the values from user, store in the address, and in this manner when this loop comes into end, and then this for j is equal to 0 it was, then that will be incremented by 1, and for j is equal to 1, again this loop will start from 0 to less than 2. Finally, when this loop is again executed completely, then j will get incremented, become 2. Again this for loop will start from k is equal to 0, k less than 2, 2 times it will iterate, and then when j becomes incremented, gets incremented to 3, this condition is not satisfied and the control comes outside this for loop, and then I will become 2. So this condition will not be satisfied in that case. So finally all this execution is completed in that case. So you can see how this ordering of the execution of the loops takes place. So there are 3 for loops, and in this manner all the elements will be accepted and will be stored. You are using ampersand. Ampersand we represent giving address of. In this address of the element you are storing the values which the user is giving. So therefore then it is a runtime initialization of the 3D array. Now if we have to access these array elements which already we have initialized runtime, then what modification will be there to access the 3D array elements? The same loop we have to run, 3 loops we have to run for 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, and we will be using just a printf to display the message. So we will give the same thing here, but we will not use the ampersand since we have to print the value. So it will be like this. So your for loop will be there for int I is equal to 0. Again one more for loop for int j is equal, and again it will be for loop int k is equal k plus plus, and finally here you will just write printf if you have to access the elements, and give the format specifier as %d, comma, you will be writing your array name, subscript I, subscript j, subscript k. So 3 subscripts will be there finally. Yes. So this inner for loop you will complete, then this one outer, and then the outermost, like this. So in the main function you can simply write one more function in order to display the elements of the 3D array. So you can call from the main function the display function, and in the display function you can write this piece of code, and simply in this manner you will display all the elements of the 3D array. So we are using the subscript format in order to simply print the elements of the 3-dimensional array. Next we will be seeing how to find the address of the each element using the row major order, in which we will see if the indexing starts from 0, then what will be the formula if the indexing changes from 1, or if it is 2, anything, then how the formula will be modified. We will draw the formula using the row major order. We will see how this matrix 3D array, which we have seen it is represent logical form in 3D matrix form, how this is stored in your memory in the linear form in 1-dimensional array. So let's see that.